Awesome. So it's 4 o'clock. Thanks everybody for joining. This is one of our platform update webinars. I will go over a lot of features that we've worked on over the past 6 to 8 weeks and the progress that we've made. I'll take questions along the way as I see them in the Q&A, and then I'll really drill deep into what we have been working on, showcase that, and then what we are working on and what's coming up next. And happy to hear suggestions, comments, concerns, anything of that nature, anytime, just in the chat or in the Q&A as well. The other screen. So do you see the Deepvue screen at the moment? So you should see the screener. I just brought up the screener. Yes? Okay. So you guys do see it. Okay, so let's begin. So one of the biggest updates that we've done to the platform this week has been with the screener table. And a lot of things with the screener table, especially the sections data, and it being reliable and how things were saving or editing or deleting. We've completely rewritten the screener table, and that's something that has been kind of a pain for us to get past that, so that we can really do things that we really want to do. So we've redone that. You guys probably see a new font coming through kind of throughout the application bit by bit. We'll optimize the fonts. We'll make them look a little bit better. We'll bring in some of the features that we took away with respect to DCR, WCR, visuals, volume visuals, etc. in the screener table. All those will be making their way back. But the biggest improvement that you will see, and the biggest improvement is on the reliability side. Basically, sections are going to be 100% stable and save. Watches are going to load 100% of the time. And the same thing for screener. The data coming through, there's going to be a lot more data being streamed to the table, and much faster as well. That means more accurate data and faster data being streamed to the table. We've taken care of sorting. We've added, small features like if you want to now change columns, you could just simply drag the column and change it, and it will switch places. Or you can drag it and change it back, and it will switch, instead of having to do that through column settings. Yes, we have the old UI there still, and it's something that we're still making a decision on if we want to keep or not. But just small stuff like that just makes the table a lot more robust, easier to use, and also allows us to add just more features in the coming days. So that's the table update that we've done. The other thing that we've done is a lot of inline renaming. So now when you double click stuff, so if I have a screen and I want to change the name from tight range to tight range 1, I can easily do that just inline, right? I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything. And I just double click a name, and it will just happen right off the bat. The other another smaller update on the screener is when you create new and you click screener, it will just simply create a screener for you. And when it creates a screener, it's going to bring up the filter so you can get into screen creation right away as well. So a lot of folks are saying, I want the layout to be this, I want the layout to be that. How about this? Is this better? Is this better? Let me know if this is better. Yes? Okay, good. This way you guys don't get to see me, but who wants to see me anyways? Right? We could try this one, but there's a huge image of me as well. So I think we'll stick to the other one. Okay, we'll stick to this one, and hopefully it's recording my webcam separately, so we can burn that into the video so folks can look at me as well. So screen creation is a lot easier. So we're trying to remove the barriers that we kind of have at the moment to make everything easy to use. So when you create screen, it just creates it, gives it a default name. You can go back and rename it later and do all of that. That's perfectly fine. Within the screener itself, we took time to put some old kind of issues to bed. So with the earnings, we didn't have these presets before. So now if you want to see earnings tomorrow, it auto selects it and it adds it to the screener. and it filters it for you. So now you have all these actions happening in one click rather than trying to go to the date picker, trying to do, different actions that way. So that's another small thing that we added to the platform. Anything in the drop downs is now you can rename just by double clicking again. So if I go to my saved screens, if I go to any untitled, I want to change this to test 5566. It will do that and it will rename it right in line. That's the case throughout the application, not just for screeners, not just for watch lists, for data panel, for column sets, for you name it. It's there in terms of renaming. So inline renaming and auto create for watch lists and screeners is just trying to remove a little bit of friction so that you can get into screen creation or watch list creation right away, and then you can always organize things later on. The next thing I want to go over is the new combo list UI. So the new combo list UI is if I go to saved watch lists, let's say I want to combine two different lists together. So let's say I want to combine my IPO list with my positions list, for example. So let's say we want to combine these two. So I could click the three dots and I click combine. And this is the new UI that we have for creating a combo list. Yes. So let's keep going through. So if I want to combine things, so we added this new UI. Basically, it allows you to, select the watch lists that are yours or presets. You can filter by those. You can combine any number of screeners and any number of watch lists together and create a combo watch list. And when you click create, it will create that for you. And this UI is much better than what we had before, which was like a drop down, and it made it really nasty to even do something like this. Plus, the combo list feature is 100% reliable. We're adding a lot of tests to our development process to make sure that we don't, break things as we go. And the combo list feature itself is really powerful because you can add, maybe my bullish screens together into one. My watch list for, let's say, my model books can be all in one and be combined as well as a study model stocks. Or any number of different, setups. Let's say my different setup screens for 4B minus, 62.5% RS days, 52-week highs can all be kind of merged together. And you can have a single screen for your entire routine as well. So this UI wasn't the best before, and it's something that we've improved quite a bit. Next, I want to go over a few of the dashboard apps that we have released, but also the dashboard UI. So now when you click add widgets, there's a right side add widget pop-up. It has a search now. As we increase the number of apps, and these things are going to increase quite a bit over the next couple of weeks here. We're going to have a lot more widgets and apps kind of launched. You'll have search. So search is going to be, if you want industry ranks or if you want something related to something, you just search that and it just, does that right away. The first one I want to go over is the heat map. So let's drag in the heat map. And it won't drag because this grid sucks. And that's something we will fix by Sunday. We have a whole new grid system that I'll showcase later in the call. So let's go over heat map a little bit and the changes that we've made to the heat map. So now when you click on any of the sectors, you will drill deeper into basically that particular sector. If you want to go back and see the whole heat map, you could do that. So let's say I want to review, I see a lot of green over here, right? So I can go into consumer staples and really see what's happening over here as well. Or if I want to go back and see the absolute disaster that software is right now, I could see that as well. Just for awareness purposes, you can connect to any screener that you like. You can connect to any watch list that you like, and any preset. So the heat map is basically created so that you can connect to any list and see it in a heat map view. The second is what information shows up. So price percent change today. This is the second row underneath basically underneath the symbol. That's the data there. And the third is the size. So you can size it by any data point as well. So this makes it, there's not much else you could do with heat maps, and we've kind of done everything that we can as well. So that's the heat map update. It's you drill down, you can get a deeper look into a very particular group, and you can go back, and the UI is seamless, it's fast, and better as well. The other update that we've done is to the header. The search is a lot better. So when you're going to search for screener and watch list, it's more inline, it's fast, it's more in your face. You can see things a lot better. But the most important thing is if I search 500, S&P 500, it's part of my weekend routine, kind of shows you what folder it's in, or presets, what folder that preset is in, and it kind of also highlights the word that you search. This needs to be a little more yellow, so we'll fix that from a design perspective. But this search has been rewritten from scratch and brought, because we're trying to identify little UI issues that people have been reporting for weeks, and we've been making those improvements along the way. So that's the heat map update. It allows you to drill down into sectors, go deeper into each of them from a sector perspective or a sub-industry perspective, whichever way you like it. So let's X out of this. That's the heat map, and get into industry ranks. So this app has been quite popular. A lot of folks have used it. They like it. And I'll go over it kind of in depth right now and why we built it. So the first thing is just to get familiarized with the UI, you have sectors, groups, industries, and sub-industries. I know there has been a lot of folks basically requesting for themes and more of a theme-based ranking system and things of that nature. That's something that we're absolutely working on and doing, working on behind the scenes to get it into the application, but also into this app. The options that you have are groups, so you can see all the groups at once. You can see all the industries and the sub-industries as well. So that's one of the filters that you have. Second is you get to determine in terms of relative strength or the ranking. You want to see it from a 1-day perspective all the way to the 12-month. So we have any of those, and you could choose any number of columns that you like. So if you're a longer term trader, you're probably looking at 3, 6, and 12-month, and you could see, hey, materials have been number one from a 3-month perspective. Or if you're a more of a swing trader from a rotational perspective, you could see that healthcare from a 1-week basis, it has climbed up 10 spots from a sector rotation perspective. So now you can get different perspectives from this kind of table. All this information is saved to your profile. You can have multiple of these up if you like. And the other thing that we've done, I kind of want to go over this UI as well, is the number of stocks in healthcare. So this kind of gives you the total number of stocks. This gives you the ranking for that week, for that month. And you could also sort. That's the last option. So you could sort by rank. You could sort by rank change. Sorting by rank, if I do that on the 1-month column, it will tell me from a 1-month basis, energy has been the top group. If I get rid of that sort and I say from a 12-month basis, 12 materials has been the top group. Now, if I want to change that and I want to look at, only the jumps, I go to rank change. And then now I can say from a 3-month basis, which, what's climbing the leaderboard consumer staples are, right? Because software is going to trash, people are going to safety, that type of trade is happening. And the same thing you could do with any column. So which one has jumped the most from a 1-week perspective? It's the 10 that shows up. So healthcare will show up at the top. So this is a powerful, app that you can add to your dashboard. It will give you clear perspective depending on which perspective you're looking for from a sector, group, industry, and sub-industry. Again, we're going to roll out something on the theme perspective, almost like a Deepvue GICS kind of system, and our own kind of how we view the markets. And we're going to call that, theme ranks and theme ratings. And it's going to have a broad theme, a sub theme, and a rotational theme associated with it. And they will all be present over here for you to kind of look at in the same way. And that will tell you a bit more of a granular way of looking at the markets, like within AI, what's working, cooling centers, compute, cloud compute, storage, etc. It will give you far deeper look into that type of stuff, and that will be spread throughout our platform in terms of the new ranking systems. The new feature that we added today, and we haven't announced yet, just kind of save it for this call, is that now when you click into let's say if I'm in this group and I want to see, semiconductors. Now, when you click into it, you'll get the full list of semiconductors. So why this becomes really powerful is if I add a chart, now I can have both in a blue group, and now I can flip through stocks in the semiconductor space, kind of the way that we had it on the main modules already. But this gives you a powerful way to do that that way. So now you could go back, right? If I want to see energy, I could see all the energy stocks. You can spacebar through it. You could arrow up and down. You could connect it to a chart, and you could see it whichever way you like in the Industry Ranks app itself. So now you're looking at data, right, from a healthcare. I want to see all healthcare stocks. Well, here you go. Here are all the healthcare stocks, and then the change versus yesterday's close is the metric that we picked. Kind of doing that. So all of the levels, sector, group, industry, and sub-industry, you can all drill down into each of these and see the stocks within them and how they're doing as well. So that gives it a really, really powerful, now you're drilling down, you're doing top-down analysis, and you're really getting into what's working within each space as well. This will help you quite a bit in terms of keeping on top of sector rotation, industry rotation, and even very granular level with the sub industries as well. So that's the Industry Ranks app. If anything comes to mind that you guys, again, themes are going to come. We're going to do something with the theme tracker that a lot of people can't even, I would say, imagine or think of, which will make things a lot easier to track themes as well. But we'll add that throughout the app later. But this, I think, in and of itself is quite killer in terms of how we've been able to accomplish the Industry Ranks app. I'll pause here just to see any suggestions, any questions that I can find for this. I don't see any. A lot of people are just saying really useful, love this, awesome, love the focus of the apps. When are the rankings updated? So the rankings are updated for the 1 week. So really great question. So all of these rankings, we update them hourly pretty much to give you a fresh perspective of how things are. The 1 day, we're trying to get it to update a little more frequently, but everything here is updated hourly. So you're getting the latest of what the market's throwing at us with this Industry Ranks app. And these rankings are also available in the data panel, so everything ties in together. Okay, so let's get into the next thing that I want to cover. The next is Market Brief. So Market Brief app. So this thing is, we're not trying to give you a load of news articles to go through. Though we will do that. I'm not saying we won't. For some folks, they want that. This was kind of something that I wanted for myself and I thought would be really useful for me in my trading. So the Market Brief app, what it does is it aggregates all the news that's happened. Could be 100 news articles, could be 150 news articles, but kind of summarizes everything in a neat paragraph. Like, what should I really know? I don't want to read 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 articles for me to kind of get the news perspective of the market in one shot, right? So what this does is it gives you that summary, and then it also highlights some of these things, but it labels it with a sentiment at the same time. And we're using 100% AI for this in the background to kind of aggregate that information and give us this kind of output. But it's way better than reading hundreds of articles and trying to determine what the hell is going on. And this gives you that in one shot. So at the top you have sentiment, news, a summary of all the news that's happened and that could impact the market. And then you have these action items, not action items, but like summaries or headlines that we feel are important or that could impact price action in the market, that could move the market in a big way or can have some impact as to how the markets are moving day to day. So that's what this is, market brief. It again, how often does this update? This updates every 15 minutes. Okay, every 15 minutes, it's going to aggregate all the news that's happened, and it's going to give you a summary of it and the key points that you need to know. And that's how this works. This is something, personally I've wanted for my trading because I don't like watching, let's say, CNBC or major news networks, or I want to have that perspective, but I don't want it to be too noisy for myself. And this is really the perfect way to do it when it comes to the market brief. In terms of timestamps, yeah, we can add a timestamp to when this was last updated, but it's every 15 minutes, Mike. So it's literally every 15 minutes we're updating this to keep it. Do we have a way to customize this feed? No, we're not getting into like I want oil and gas type of news, or I want jobs related or Fed related or that type of granularity just yet. This app really has just one purpose, and that purpose is to give you a summary of all the news in the market and give you the key headlines that can impact price action. It's trying to minimize noise rather than giving you functionality with this. Later on, we'll get into news and we'll add news, and you could do whatever you personally want to do with that. But the purpose of this is to minimize noise, give you actionable information, and give you what you need rather than too much information with the market brief. It's not a replacement for news. I just want to make that clear. News will come to the platform. We will have news, and we will have sources and articles and things of that nature that if you want to be very information heavy with your trading, we will include that. This is more for the minimal folks and really something I wanted for my trading, to make my trading better, and this makes that better. The next thing I want to go over is another dashboard app that we put together is RRG. Again, I'm getting used to this new. So any new app will have this badge associated with it, so you know what we've added recently. And this badge goes away after about 15 or 20 days by itself. So it's going to go away so that, if you haven't, if you're here and you feel like you're going to miss something, well, then these badges will help you out. Let's get into RRG. Relative rotation charts. This is kind of the first iteration. Something came to mind and I really wanted to put this together and get this out to you guys, and then we'll iterate over and make this better as well, because I know there's a lot of functionality that's related to RRG charts. Basically, RRG charts are on the x-axis. You can put a rating system that you like. And then on Y, what we're doing is on the Y-axis here, we're calculating the rate of change of that rating on different time frames. So when I select any watch list, I can connect it to any watch list I like. So let's just say all the stage 2 stocks right now, right? From a 1 month perspective. And then what this is doing at the moment, it's taking the different relative strength ratings for the same stock, and then it's calculating the rate of change of those ratings and kind of giving you what's improving or what's starting to lag in a big way. So this chart can get quite messy if you have a giant list. So we have like thousands of stocks or hundreds of stocks in stage 2. So let's get to something a little bit like ETF type. So if we do go to sector ETF, it's far more apparent as to how we can use this. So we have the sector ETFs. We want to have the RS rating for those, and then it draws the line based on the different RS ratings, and then the change in momentum of those, the rate of change of those RS ratings. So it's saying that utilities are starting to lead. Of course, that's why this is not a great market, and you can change that as to like from a 1 week perspective as to how you want to draw this, or a 1 month. So utilities are in the leading space, whereas communications and tech and things of that nature are going to be in the weakening or the lagging, which is quite obvious as to how the market's functioning. So this is how these are calculated at the moment. I think we received a lot of questions as to what how to use this. Basically, it's giving you rotation in the markets in a more visual way by plotting the relative strength rating or the absolute strength rating on different time horizons and calculating the rate of change of those. The last bit in terms of input that we have here is you can kind of remove the noise and say just show me the leading ones, and now you know the leading ones. So technology from a 1 week perspective, because we've seen a big bounce in the software names, or try to bounce, and they got flushed today. But on a 1 month perspective, you can see that energy, staples, real estate, and utilities are the ones that are leading, and everything else kind of lagging. So I can bring those, what's lagging and what's that. So obviously technology, healthcare, and things of that nature are lagging or weakening from that. So this is giving you that perspective. You could attach it to any of your watch lists. You could attach it to any of your screeners that you like, and it will give you that analysis. And there's a lot more improvements that we will do with this RRG chart. We'll attach it to more of a simulated way. So you'll have like a play button, and it will simulate things for you over time. And instead of it being ratings on a 1 month, 1 week, 1 day, 6 month, and 9 month perspective, we'll have the RS ratings be a time series. So you can literally see like a snake line kind of going through like this, showing you when software was good and when software was bad. And we'll get into that a little bit later with the relative rotation graph. Let's go to the theme tracker. I just want to cover one small update on the theme tracker. I will go over the terminal in a few and some of the updates that are coming there. Maybe I'll showcase the updates as well in this call that are coming up. So theme tracker, we just clarified one thing that has confused a lot of folks. There's two type of metrics that we have for today's market. One is change versus yesterday's close. That's typical, of what 99% of the people really know and use. They just want to know, okay, what was up and what was down. And then there's another perspective to it. Since the open, so let's say we had a down open, right? Let's say the S&P open or the NASDAQ open 1%, minus 1%. What happened since the open, right? And that's what this second metrics is going to tell you. So let's say we had a gap down in tech and it rallied, but it still closed negative. This today view will still rank that momentum that we saw from the open and the dip being bought in that particular space. It will still show that as a negative price percent change, whereas the since open will give you the real what happened after the gap down, right? The gap down, we already know, everybody already knows what happens at 9:30. It's minus 1%. We're gapping down, things of that nature. But this second metric is, in my opinion, if you're swing trading or day trading, far more powerful as well than today, because it gives you a clear perspective of what happened after 9:30. Again, just to be clear, all of these themes are, you could drill down, right? I think not a lot of people know about it. We just need to improve the UI of it a little bit so that when you hover over, there's an underline that could kind of tip you off that these are clickable. Again, you could attach it to any chart that you like. So if I go to utilities, right, I can spacebar through and see all the utilities that are acting well. They're actually setting up and breaking out quite well at the moment. So that's the update on theme tracker. Next, we'll go to the Deepvue terminal. Deepvue terminal is our AI implementation, and this thing's going to get really, really good in a few days as to what it can do. I think I will showcase some of it to you guys in a few here, but let's go over this first. One, we added a prompt library, and we made sure that it's very hidden and not many people can see it. So once you click this little sparkle thing on the left, right? This shows the prompt library. So we have pre-made prompts that we've kind of built for you and included in the platform. So if I want to say, stock analysis or earnings, summarize the stock's latest earnings, I can use this prompt. If I want to analyze the market, what sectors are leading the market, um, it will go out and kind of study the data that we give it and give you a summary of it as well. So now it says, broad sector rotation is energy, materials, consumer staples. It will give you that information um, included. And then also if you want, Fed or macro picture, we've tried to make these prompts easy to read, but behind these prompts, there's very, detailed they're very detailed as to what type of information they will pull up for you. One of the favorites for me is what is my situational awareness today. I think this is one that Richard's built and one you can run almost every morning. Or what's happening pre-market, you can run this in pre-market and it will give you kind of the what's happening as to what's gapping up, what's gapping down, what are the key headlines, etc. So it'll kind of pull that up. And then we have stock analysis from that perspective as well. So if I connect this thing to a stock, um, any stock that I want, it can kind of analyze that as well. So if we connect it to A, so now let's say how were, A's earnings. What does A do? Why did it gap up? Explain it simply as to what they're doing. So these are prompts that are built in that attach to the screener or any list that you have. They also attach to the watch list as well, and it could give you a deep dive on any pretty much any company and what they do, or it can summarize their latest earnings as well. This is something we'll bring a little more to the forefront and talk a little bit more about in the coming days after we get this next update that I really want in the platform added as well. So that's the prompt library. The UI of this whole thing is going to get a lot better. Maybe I will showcase that right now. Give me a second and I'll pull that up on my end. Just give me 1 second because I'm really excited about that update. 90. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to pull it up so I can showcase the update that's coming up to you guys. And we're trying to roll that out tomorrow, so it will be fun. Just give me 1 second. Sorry for the pause. I should have had it up already, but all good. I don't know if it's fully ready, but I can showcase it to you guys. Do you guys see my screen? It should have turned very bright now on everybody's end. Okay, so let's go to dashboard. I'm just testing our new dashboard implementation. That's why this looks really crazy. But let's go to dashboard, create a new one. And then in this, I'm going to pull in Deepvue terminal. And we'll give it a good old refresh because our dashboard is not great right now. So let's see if I can make this work. Maybe it's not 100% ready yet, but let's see if we can get this to work. Nope, failed to load. Let's see. Okay, if this starts working, I'll come back to it. But this is more of like a virtual environment where the devs are working in. So it's not quite there yet, looks like. But if this starts to work, we'll come back to it. in a few, and I'll showcase what we're thinking. I think those are some really powerful features coming through. Okay, let's see a few comments. Turn off your camera, please. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, my camera's back. Sorry about that. There we go. Which LLM is the terminal built on? It's a really great question that we get quite a bit. The LLM, we kind of smart route right now based on the type of query that you're making. We pick whatever is best for that type of prompt, and we route the traffic. So Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity. So you're kind of getting a $20 subscription in kind of baked in into your existing one. And then we also have no limits as to how you can use this, as long as it's related to finance. That's the only restriction that we've kind of placed on it, because we don't want people to say, "Hey, give me a recipe for, what I should make today," and things like that from that perspective. So that's the only restriction that we've kind of put on it. But we've also added our data to it so that it's more accurate with the markets, and kind of done a few things from that perspective as well. Is there a plan to integrate Broker with Deepvue? It will help with journaling. Yes, we will do that, and it may be sooner than you think, which will be awesome. I just want to see if there's any questions I can answer. Okay, so there's quite a few questions here. Let me try to, so as I can show some of the questions. I answered that. So yes, this will be recorded, by the way, and sent out to everybody. So the recording will be sent out. What is the reports feature? So let's go over the reports feature a little bit. So let's do that. It's another one that I created because I really like. I used to have this on TC2000, and we created it for Deepvue. So what this allows you to do is, like, you can have the number of stage 2 stocks. You can track those, right? And it will add that. You can track 52-week highs. You can add that, right? You can, maybe we should allow ratios to happen. This will make it a lot more powerful now that I think about it. So we will allow ratios of any two screens to be added to it. So what it will do is, 52-week highs to 52-week lows, and it can do a ratio for you or show you the results of both of those screens at once. I like to kind of track, from a liquidity perspective or the HV Edge perspective, as to how many names are making that screen. So this is basically kind of like a little report, screener report that you can have on the top right. And for me, I'm very numerical in how I think about the markets, and this kind of tells me, okay, stage. If I add stage 2 and I add stage 4, it will give me a good perspective of, okay, there's more stage 2s and 4s. The market's good. It's not really. It's something that Richard, he's in the chat. He didn't quite like this app at all, but this is something I had in TC2000, so we added this. Now you can pretty much add any of the saved screens, preset screens. I think we'll allow ratios. That will make this thing a lot better and more useful in terms of what you could do with it. So that's what the reports app is. Speaking of TC2000, let's do that. Speaking of TC2000, when will that type of screening functionality come to Deepvue? Again, it's something that we've been working on for quite a while. We've jumped different technologies, I would say, different methods, and we haven't been able to deliver it, and that's really the bottom line. But I think over the next couple of months, we will be able to deliver that, but always go above and beyond as to what we will get out. And I know I've been saying that for probably a good part of a year now, and we haven't delivered on it. But we're getting closer, and it's going to be a bigger focus of ours to make sure we do get that out. So that will include, again, your typical time series screening, compare any, close today with close 5 days ago, add them up, divide them by 10, because that's what I want to do. Type of screening will be present in the platform from a technical perspective, and that's how we would plan to match TC2000. But that's something that will definitely happen before the summer of this year. And also, it will include a layer of AI on it where you will get to build screens kind of just speaking to the screener. So you can say, hey, I want something like this. Can you help me create it? And it will help you kind of guide you step by step as to what you actually want to screen for in the markets. So those things are really tied together. And those are really things that we're working on to make happen. Now that with AI and the latest tools, I think you'll see that we're going to move a lot faster on this, and this ecosystem is going to develop a lot faster as to what we envisioned about 2 to 3 years ago when we started building Deepvue. Should we call the results? Yeah, maybe we can change the name for reports to results. That's not a problem. When is the home screen you showcased being released? That home screen that I showcased will be this month. It will be released this month before the 28th. We are just stitching together the whole thing in terms of there's a lot of data coming into the platform, so we're just bringing different data into one place on the home screen, and that will be live this month. That's our next focus after Sunday. Once we release our updated grid that we've been working on, that you guys will really like, then we'll focus on the home screen and get that out probably end of next week. Should be doable if we really do focus on it. This is done. It's done. I'm trying to answer many questions. So, is the Deepvue AI terminal capable of scanning through the entire watch list at once, or looks at one stock at a time? So that's what this update was for. Now that this thing is working, let's switch to dark mode because I don't want people to go crazy. Okay, so again, this is an update I'm showcasing. This is not live yet. This will be in the platform this week. Is the goal? If not, probably Monday, Tuesday, max. So one is the prompts that show up at the bottom will have a more prompt, which will bring up the prompt library. The prompt library itself will have a search associated with it, which makes things a lot easier. So if I want to say something like sector, then it just kind of searches that for you. The second thing is you can create a new chat. So the previous UI was at the very top and it was very hard. Now you can just click new chat, and the new chat window is also improved. So you can do market analysis, theme analysis, kind of shows you the prompts that we have available right away. So this update will come out and you could also explore more prompts. Now, the crazy thing that I want to show is, let's say I want the AI to go and look at one of my screens, right? So when I do this at symbol, like when I do this at, it's looking at all my watch lists are available. So let's say, review my positions watch list, right? So I can say review my positions watch list and give me a table from a theme perspective. Let's just say that, right? So now it's going to have the context of my positions that I have in my watch list. It's going to analyze them for me and give me a breakdown, like an output based on that. So you're going to be able to add context based on any screen. And when I say screen, it's any of our presets or any of your save screens, any of your watch lists, and any of your saved watch lists as well. And then to take it one step ahead, you can even do the data panel. So if I want to do the data panel, so let's say I have watch list presets. Let's go to data panel, right? So if I say, I want to look at the Oliver Kell data panel kind of thing. So I want all the data points from the Oliver Kell, because that's his perspective of how what data he finds important, and I want to analyze Apple with it. I press OK. Now you've added the data points that Oliver is looking at. You're asking it to analyze it for that particular stock, right? And it's going to pull Deepvue's data into it, and now you can analyze it from that perspective and give your prompt at the end. And that's really going to give this a whole new perspective, like a dimension as to how you can use the Deepvue terminal with it. It's going to have context. It's going to have Deepvue's data. It's going to have any screener, watch list, screener preset, watch list preset, any data panel that we add to this. And it's going to pull that data in and help you analyze the markets at the same time. So the level of depth that this will get into when we attach our screener, our watch list, and our data panels, and our own data when we're prompting this thing and we're using the AI, is going to really take this to the next level. Like, I don't think there will be anything, with Deepvue's data or trying to build this ecosystem out that can give you this in kind of one shot and very seamlessly as well. So that's what I wanted to showcase with this. There's a lot more that that comes to my mind that we could do with this, but this is something that we'll get out into your guys' hands and kind of see how everybody's using it, get more ideas, and things of that nature while improving. In iterations rather than us just sitting and putting our heads down and trying to make this 5-10 iterations, just doing one iteration at a time to get your guys' ideas. Crazy. This is OP. I don't really know what OP is, but I think it's a good thing. It's crazy good. That's good. This is dope. That's what Richard said. Good. Can analysis be done on Kel's requirements or this? OP overpowered. Okay. Just so everybody knows, OP is overpowered or something. Lots of questions about earnings. Can you please discuss? Okay. So that's this update. I will get to all the questions. I'm really trying to just talk about one thing at a time and not jump so that people can follow along in a way. But I will get to as many questions as I possibly can. Our text message alerts coming. We already have text message alerts, like through the phone, by the way. Not text message, but we have the push notifications from the mobile app is what we have. We don't have text message alerts. We used to, and then we tried to support it globally, and it became a huge mess, and we got rid of it. So maybe we'll come back to that, but at the moment we don't have that. Okay, so are you adding copy trading? Fantastic updates. Only drawback is your platform. It's the platform you're presenting on. Okay, sorry about that, Gene. We're trying to make it work with Riverside, but if it doesn't work, we'll go back to Zoom. Basically. So let's see. There's a few more updates that I want to showcase. In terms of the data panel. So data panel, we added this drag and drop, and we really didn't talk about it much. The way that you add or delete data points, you just hover over, and an X is going to show up in the data panel. If you want to add a data point, you hover over the category, and you can add any number of data points. There's a search inline. I'm not really in love with this whole UI because you can't multi-select things that you want. So we might add that into the platform. The other thing is you can drag and drop between things. So you can go from this bucket to that bucket in one go now. So that makes it a little bit better. And then the other thing is we added short interest data points. So just so that everybody's aware, short interest is now available. Short float is now available. Days to cover. And all the metrics that are important related to short data that you had to go to other platforms to get is now available on Deepvue. That's just for awareness purposes. So this thing, drag and drop, how you add, you go to this because we get a ton of questions regarding that. And then short interest data is available in the platform. Now that I think about it, there's a few new screeners that we can also go over that we haven't discussed much over the past couple of months here. One is the Bollinger Bands. So you can now scan from percent from lower band and percent from upper band. So if you're using Bollinger Band in your trading, you can now screen for it versus Deepvue's database. There is a RS data point that we added, which is RS line within X% of 52-week highs. So you can now scan for RS lines that are 10% within 10% of their 52-week highs. A great way to filter the markets right now for that. This is also available. We're going to roll out ADR multiples. Those have become quite popular over the next week or so. We'll get a little more data heavy after we get the dashboard grid out. We'll get back to data. And then a few other things I just wanted to share. Stage analysis symbols are coming next week, is fully finalized. So stage analysis symbols are coming to the platform. Stocks above 20-day and stocks above 5-day from different perspectives in terms of breadth metrics. They will also be released next week. And we're going to start to add many more data points about, I would say 3 to 5 a week as to the user requests that we're seeing. And then we're going to introduce a new rating system that I've been working on, which is what I will call momentum rating. And the idea behind that is that if the stocks in the top group and the top sector or the top whatever are the ones that are moving quickly, then there are some other metrics that I feel kind of make a cocktail of how a stock can potentially move in a big way. So float, short interest, and things of that nature. And that cocktail will basically turn into a rating system, which we'll call momentum rating. And that will be available on a per stock basis that will allow you to gauge potential on a stock by stock basis as to if this were to set up properly from a technical perspective, how quickly can it go to the upside as well. And we're going to have a rating system based on that. This is more of like just personal research becoming a data point in Deepvue. And I'll probably do a whole webinar on that once that rating is live and in the platform, because I'll showcase exactly, why it's useful to have that, something like that. Yeah, this is on top of RS. This is different than RS. This is more like it's going to combine different metrics that make a super perform, like that make a hood, right, in the market. So when hood went, crazy and rallied up, this rally, what were some of the important metrics that kind of caused this from a technical perspective? That's what the momentum rating is going to be about. And it's going to kind of drive you to look at certain stocks a little bit differently than others and allow you to prioritize what you're supposed to be positioning in if you want to catch something like this, right? Bottom left to top right when it does happen. Let's go over some questions because I know I just don't want anyone to feel ignored. Hitesh, you're in the Q&A tab, by the way, if you want to switch to chat, because not many of these are questions, just so that I get to the right questions. Any promos to join Deepvue, you can email hello@deepvue.com and say you attended the webinar today, and we will get you a promo code if you're a new customer, and we'll get you through the door, incentivize you to sign up. So hello@deepvue.com. Any plans to customize colors in the data panel for certain parameters? So RS 3-month above 79 green. Yes, we will add that to the data panel. And I will share something in terms of how we can accomplish it as well. in our Discord. So if you are here today and you aren't in our Discord, make sure you join. That's where we showcase the platform before things go live, or get your opinion before things go live as well. So we'll definitely add that to the platform or our plans. Are there any plans to make Deepvue a native application? Like a desktop level? Yes, likely in the summer of this year, we can probably accomplish that. What it does is if it runs natively, it just adds in, more of your uh, computer's processing power and allows the application to run smoother. So that's something we've spoken about and we will do. How do we join the Discord? I will send out a link. So if you're a part of this webinar and you're on the list, we'll send out an email just showing how you can join the Discord. Is it possible to watch the webinar later? Yes, the recording will be sent out. The recording of the webinar will be sent out. Trying to get through as many questions as possible. One of the many reasons why I still use TradingView is due to certain indicators. Are there plans to add indicators, mainly in trend gaps? Yes, there's plans to add indicators, but there's a bigger plan in place for us to have Deepvue charts. And we haven't spoken much about it, but we have kind of like a portion of our team kind of dedicated to building an engine, a charting engine, so that we can control every aspect of charting. Whereas this TradingView charting engine kind of limits us. We're close, but I wouldn't really put a date to it yet as to when we will launch it. But it's going to be a focus of ours to. We'll have like a hybrid setup out maybe in end of March, where you can see Deepvue charts and you can see TradingView charts, and we'll add some cool features. We'll migrate all the data, all the indicators, everything to that, and your layouts and everything will all be migrated on by themselves. But we will add some cool features so that you guys use those more, and then we'll fully transition over to that, because that will allow us to do anything we really want and can really think of in the long run, right? Because right now we kind of have a dependency on TradingView, and there's some limitations of things we can or cannot do. Okay. Indicators and drawings on mini chart view. Indicators and drawings on mini chart view, which is amazing for screening. I've thought of it. It's something that is very. It's not. I don't know how many people would really want it, but if that's something that you want, please upload it on the feature request. We fix mini charts and they work really, really well, just the way they are, and they're fast. Really, really fast, right? And we had a lot of issues with this feature, but we figured it out, and now they work great. We just don't want to drawings and things of that nature would just add complexity. But I think for now, our focus is to just keep this as is at the moment. When are you building the desktop app? I said, we'll get it started with that near the summer of this year, and probably have something on the desktops for better performance for folks that don't like web. There's a ton of questions. Where can we access all the previous webinars? That's a great question. So if you go to education and you go to articles or events, all the previous ones. So the last one that we did was in November, and we kind of just went quiet. We'll do a lot more of these webinars now, but you can view all the previous ones over here, and you can view all the tutorials that we've built over here as well. So these are all available. So if I do the mobile walkthrough in the platform. Are you hiring? We're always hiring, by the way. It's a so if you're interested, like from a design perspective, or your day job is coding, we're definitely hiring. So you can email me directly at rai@deepvue.com, or you can email hello@deepvue.com and it will get to me as well. But if you want to be part of something like this and what we're building, definitely reach out. I'm open to having any and all conversations. We're looking to add and expand to the team with the right talent. and we're always looking for people to add. Yeah, we'll be supporting Mac OS as well when we go with the desktop app. Okay, let me get to some of the initial questions because I don't want people to feel like they're being ignored. So this, I think we already discussed. It's updated every 15 minutes. Broker implementations, our journal, which we're working on, or we'll start actively, like fully focused, probably the end of next week. We'll start fully focusing on the journal module. The first iteration of our journal module will have CSV import and just calculate metrics and store them for you, because I think that's the quickest way we can get a journal out initially. And then we will bring in broker integrations. So broker integrations will be auto sync. We've researched the space quite a bit. Like personally, there's a couple of issues. Like IBKR allows you to, says that every 7 days the customer must resync with any platform, so with any journal. So, I've signed up for probably 3 to 5 journals out there. They all have this common pitfall. So it's more of like discussing with the team as to what. But just to get one of the few first iterations out the door, we can go with a CSV upload at the very least, just to get that out. So I don't know how soon that will be because I don't want to put any dates to it, but we'll start. We're definitely going to have that be a focus starting next week after we roll out the dashboard grid, which has been a pain for many folks using the dashboard, including myself. So, yeah, we can't resize widgets. David, that's one of the things that will be fixed on Sunday. So we have the updated grid and the updated setup, like ready to go. We're just doing testing. I guess you guys see my face again, but just give me 1 second. I can showcase the updated grid as well. Let me just pull that up so I can show you guys. So the updated grid is right here. Let me go back where you don't see me. Perfect. And we go to dashboard. So this is the updated grid. It loads instantly. It feels better. It's in testing right now. So the team is testing it out in this kind of virtual environment thing. And literally it's just better. So it's one, the drag and drop is gone. You're not dragging stuff in and things like that. If you want to delete something, you could just delete it. You can resize on 4 corners. If I want to swap places, I can swap places. Like, okay, I want to place this here. It fits, good. I want to swap mini market brief with that. I can do that. I want to place this over here. Or if you want to replace this, it will say, okay, then industry ranks is going to go that way. But the more important thing here is, it's fast as well. It's not what we've had for the past ever since we introduced the dashboard. So it's been rewritten. This whole grid has actually been written by the team for Deepvue itself as to the features that we want in a grid. So diagonal resizing, sideways, and then the UI, like when you hold it turning blurry and then going that. So there's a lot of work that's gone into this, but it also helps us fix our issues because we tried to use external libraries, third-party libraries, things of that nature, and nothing really worked out the way we really wanted it to. And this really allows us to control every aspect of it. Because the things that we have planned for the dashboard and how I'm thinking about it, I'd like to share some of that as well, because I think it will get a lot of ideas from you guys. Is we will have Deepvue apps, which are pre-made, but each app, certain aspects of the apps that we have. For example, if I go to market breadth, right? So this in and of itself will be available as a a widget that, you know, like a separate little smaller thing within the app domain. And then eventually I want to get into people creating their own apps. So you can create your custom app that, you know, pulls in different data, pulls in different widgets that you like or different visualizations, and then you can create your own app as well out of those and save it. And you can have my apps or you can use Deepvue's apps. So that will allow some creativity, and it will also allow us to open source our data a little bit and allow users to be creative. And then on top of that, we're going to add a layer of community to it. And that community will be like, I can go share my app that I kind of created with the visualizations that I like, and, you know, the styling or whatever the case might be, to the community as well. So then that way we're just open sourcing a lot of this, and the creativity is going to go through the roof. You'll see people create some amazing stuff rather than us creating it app by app as well. So that's something that that's in my mind that really I want to get to as well with this, you know, dashboard, why we're calling them apps, and then how to make these individual elements be available so that you guys can kind of take them and build your own stuff if you like as well. There's hundreds of questions, but I'll try to answer. So are we getting the news integration? Yes, you will get a news integration. Outside of the market brief, we're going to call it market news. It will have the latest available news. And I think we'll do a fly on the wall briefing type of thing, kind of separately, maybe just partner up with them to have it be available as an app in the store, like in our dashboard. And then you guys can use that. That's another thing that I'm thinking about as to how we go about it as well. Or we can bring it in and then just use, you know, briefing or fly on the wall that way. But either or, something's going to happen on news relatively soon. So, do you guys mind if we reach out when we can't figure something out? Yes. So if you can't figure something out, the first thing you want to do is just click this bottom left help and type in a message to us, right? Just type it in and ask the team. The team's always there to help. So if you can't figure it out, just ask. The other way for you to go about it is you can go to knowledge base. We have a full knowledge base of every single feature that we build. Some people have taken this and like copied some of the stuff that we've done, which is perfectly okay. But this is also updated. So if I want to look at heat map, and then I can see heat map as well. We need to update the colors and all, but this is maintained as well. But I rather you guys, you know, just ask, and then the team will find it, or you can find it, and if you can't find it yourself, the team will help you out. Yeah, the support is awesome. Thanks so much, David. And I know that, you know, some of the tickets don't always get responded to, but we're always 100% aware of what's happening in the platform and what our issues are. It's just that there's thousands of you now, and when we have, let's say, one issue, and that issue is reported by 200-300 people, it's very hard to respond to every single person. But we are building a better system so that we get back to every single person by aggregating those tickets and communicating. But if you submit a ticket, it is being looked at, and if you can't get a response, let's say a week or 3 days or 5 days, you can reach out to me and Richard directly on Twitter, and we will push that and make sure you're taken care of if something's super urgent and needs to kind of jump the line, right? Like your account stops working, you can't log in, or you forgot your password but you can't reset it now, things of that nature as well. Any update on European and UK stocks? No, we want to do crypto and indexes and things of that nature first. And we'll do those before we go to European or UK markets. So that's definitely, not in our immediate roadmap at the moment. And trading from Deepvue. So first step is to get journal, then go journal with broker integrations. Then with broker integrations, get approval for enabling trading, but that's more of a broker by broker process. Not all of them just say, anyone can do that implementation. So we have to partner on a broker by broker basis. That will be a little bit down the line. But once we get one partnership or two partnerships going, then it will be a stream of them in terms of which brokers we support. How do I catch stocks like this before they move? That's more of a TL side question. We can answer that on the TL side. Just have a process. How do I get start RS phase added to my chart as per your screen? I don't really know what you're speaking of, but if you're speaking of the relative strength indicator, you could just click the indicators icon. You type in relative strength, and then you have the DV relative strength. You could add that in, and then this will tell you, it will give you this data that I have with respect to relative strength. Can't resize widgets. Okay. I'm just trying to get through. Can you please respond to the EPS data questions? Yes. So there's two things that we've done. One is we went out and we got data from the best possible data provider on the market. And when we, try to integrate that data, we didn't have the most fun experience. That's nothing to do with the data or things of that nature. It's just, the understanding that the co-founders have of the market and these data providers is quite different. And that's where the mismatches happen in terms of earnings numbers that you see in the platform. So there's two things that we've done. One, we've built our own pipeline directly looking at SEC filings to bring that data in. So we're literally going to become the provider of our own data. And that's in testing. We're testing it this earnings season internally. And by next earnings season, we will have our own earnings data. So data that is actually made by the Deepvue team. And, there will be no excuses then because we control the data, we see the data, I understand the data from the ground up, and I really know what I'm looking at, and I know what we all should be looking at in terms of earnings. And that data will be available in the platform before next earnings season. So this earnings season, I know we haven't said anything about it, but we're internally working to solidify each of those processes so that next earnings, by the time something reports to the time it makes it to the platform, we've benchmarked it to be less than 3 seconds from SEC filing to ingestion in our database to making it visible in our dev environment. So the parser, we're optimizing it and we've built this thing from scratch for Deepvue. So before next earnings season, there will be no issues with data on Deepvue, earnings data on Deepvue. So I hope that answers it. There's a lot of we're quiet about it because we're just heads down working and we haven't communicated things well over the past couple of months. But you will see this come through, and you will see accurate data for earnings come through because we're going to control that data as to how it's parsed from SEC filings themselves. Okay. I'm just trying to answer as many questions as possible. I don't see much else. I will get these questions saved, I believe, in a TXT file, and the conversation will also be saved as well. So any questions that are not answered will be answered in the follow-up where we send out this recording to everybody that's here. And I'll put it in a section where we answer some of the questions as well for this. Let me see if Richard is suggesting anything. No. When will Kazakhstan's market data be coming? Not anytime soon. I think someone's just messing with me. Thanks, Mike, for the kind words. Yeah, so that's all I had. I think I covered everything. So inline renaming, a new data screener, table that's fast, will allow us to add features. Combo list UI is the other thing. Search on performance charts, heat map, drill down feature, market brief, app, the RRG charts, industry ranks, and the ability to drill down into industry ranks. Theme tracker UI update. The Deepvue terminal update I think will be really, really good. That's coming tomorrow. And the short interest data that's been added to the platform. By Sunday, we'll deliver on the dashboard, which will stabilize the dashboard once and for all and allow us to move much faster on the dashboard side. And then next week, we're going to add stage analysis symbols, SA20, SA5, breath metrics, and then breath metrics will start adding 3 to 5 a week. And then we're going to have a custom rating that comes out, which is called a momentum rating for stocks, how much momentum or potential a stock can have. And that's all for what's coming the week after. Any features that you guys really feel strongly about, go to the roadmap. You click help, you go to roadmap, you can request a feature. Anything that comes to mind, put it down, and you will see a pace to how we're moving with greater reliability and also speed, kind of going hand in hand, but making sure our core workflows are very stable. And I think we're starting to deliver on that promise, about 2.5, 3 years after we've launched, to have a very, very stable platform. Because anything that we send out is fully tested, both from a code perspective, also we have manual QAs, we have automations that kind of test everything, and our full focus is to not make the same mistakes again and again, like we have been kind of, learning the ropes over the first few years. So that's all I had. I think we'll end it here. I'd like to thank everybody that joined today. The recording will be sent out. And if you aren't in the Discord, we'll send you the Discord link. We're going to be quite active in that Discord, engaging the community, asking you guys what you really want, and moving with a lot of pace and intent this year. And I think the promises that we made over the last 2 years of making this an ecosystem, we're going to realize those in the next couple of quarters here, when we bring journal to this, when we bring community to this, when we bring formula builder that we've been speaking about, and then an infusion of AI just across the app to make all our workflows easier as well. So thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks for taking time out of your Thursday at 4 p.m. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much.